Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It is 3 o'clock. It is time for the Power Hour. Thanks for being on. And today we're going to go through, to me, once again, some of my favorite things of what we're preparing for the future, what we're doing right now to remain positive, and what we're doing as a group to be ready for all that comes at us. Let me make sure that we're live here on Facebook. There we go. We are. Hey, it is Lane Boyle. Hey, Lane Boyle, how you doing? So, guys, what we're going to go through today, I've been sharing with you excerpts from the book, "The Science of Getting Rich." It's over 100 years old, and of course, it's about making money. We're in a business to make money, and there's no time like right now. But right now is also a time for us to truly consider why we're doing this, who we're doing it for, and the people that we can positively impact in our efforts with it. There's certain people coming on. I'm certainly going to allow you to talk. Florian, you've been coming on to these. I'm actually going to unmute you today, brother. You've been coming on enough. So if you got something that you want to share, you are welcome to share it. Looks like Arjan's on from the Netherlands. John is in the middle of Vietnam. Thanks for hopping on today, guys. It's a remarkable time that we're in. It's uh, a remarkable. Uh, I don't think any of us will ever see anything like this again. Normal has been changed, but that's why this power hour is becoming more and more important with it. I'm going to finish today after I go through some of this science of getting rich. I'm going to go through and give you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing on April 8th to give you the skills that you need to be able to own your life. And I love that term so much so that 3 years ago, I purchased the domain own.life for a whole bunch of money because it just made sense, the idea of owning my life. And really, what this is about, there's a book out there called Do You Matter? And there's not many people who have read it. And but I love it. It's one of the best marketing and life principles book that you could read. It's just called Do You Matter? And it's by Robert Bruner and Stuart Emery. And I'm going to start today with one of the phrases from that. I'm going to read it here. It says, "Work and strive. We work and strive to improve our lives for our families and ourselves." I think we can all agree on that. That's why we're working, right? We want to make a positive use of our time to accomplish things large and small, to enjoy life and to relax. We're in this also to have free time, right? We want to make every day we can meaningful, and we want to enjoy the ride. Guys, that I think embodies the message of what I've been trying to say for the last week and a half as we go through this, is that there is a real purpose that we're doing this for. We're not just working for work's sake. We are doing this so we can accomplish things large and small. And this book, The Science of Getting Rich, is addressing the obstacles that we're running into each day. It's addressing fear. It's addressing so many of the different things that we're trying to overcome. So as I go through this with you guys, I really hope that you are willing to download this book. It's everywhere on the internet. It's over 100 years old. You can find it in multiple languages. And I hope that you're taking the time to go through it. It's a short read. And I hope that you not only are you looking and going through it, but you're willing to be able to take the notes the same way I did 21 years ago when I first read this. And I'll tell you, when I first went through it, it felt as if I was in a dark room and it turned on the lights. It made me feel responsible for my future. It made me know that I was in control of my future and that it was me that had to control my emotions, my beliefs, and all the different things that I had to do to be able to go on the path towards success in all areas of life. And I think that that's what's so powerful about this book, and why it is that I've started this process during this time with you guys of using it. So let me share from chapter 10. Let me put this on the screen with you. And I'm going to share with you what I think is just a very powerful chapter with it. And it's what it is it's chapter 10 on there. So I hope that you've been following along with me. It's a short chapter again. All of them are short, but I hope that you're taking the time to read it, download it, and to be able to make do. So just so you guys know, this is also a precursor to what's coming out next week with the app. The app, finally, Apple and Google are starting to respond, and so it's given us the ability to be able to make some of these changes. Just so you guys put this into perspective, Google isn't even letting you do right now an they're not even letting you write things about companies in there for fear of fake news being spread. You can't even give a review of a company, and to me that's crazy. I think that right now is a time to truly be productive, and there's so many eyeballs on each other and so much caring and so much beauty of what we're doing as these human beings right now, and caring for each other is really cool. So if you look right here on chapter 10 of this of the science of getting rich, it starts off, it says, you cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you're constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. And most people right now are turning to imaginary fears. They're watching, I've seen on Netflix, and at night to turn my brain off, I'll turn on Netflix, and I can see these pandemic shows are on, and they're listed at the top one, except for the Tiger King. It seems like what most people are looking for is some of these negative news out there. And what it's doing is it's putting these opposing pictures that are creating a very unclear vision of you for you to be successful. Says we cannot see the picture when you're in the frame. Let me see. So what do you, let's see. I could turn off the camera part here. So you should be able to see all of it now, John. I turned off the video of me during this part. And so the next part with
No, Jeff. It is actually a quote from somebody that if you cannot see the picture, if you're yourself being in the frame.
I thought you,
Sorry for
thank
that.
you for clarifying on that. I was like, whoa, I didn't think I did anything different with it. I'll turn the video back on with it. But you're right. Look at you. You did a perfect teaching example right there. You can't see the picture. Explain that, John. Come back on and explain what you're talking about. That's a good point.
Yeah, if you're in the middle of the mess and you cannot, rise yourself above it, you cannot clearly see what's going on. And that's, what I tell to people right now is, if you only surround yourself with negative news and you don't try to get out of that, you don't see the big picture.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's part of the issue is that people are so focused on certain things. And I said it last night, and I'll even finish it today with the types of people that right now, there's so many people that are retreating. There's so many people right now that are waiting. But the fact is there's a lot of beauty going on right now. I've never had such remarkable workouts as I do with my 13-year-old son right now. And exercise is a big part of what I do every day. And I have this 13-year-old, if you watch my midnight musings, that we had basically a push-up competition yesterday. And it was a beautiful thing to watch this 13-year-old boy truly try to knock his dad off. He didn't know I was a cheater, and I was letting him wear himself out so I could beat him at the competition at the end. But it's just, there's so much good going on right now that people are focused on the bad. And I can tell you, this quote right here says, on the competitive plane, the struggle to get rich is a godless scramble for power over other men. But when you come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness and soul unfoldment, of service and lofty endeavor comes by way of getting rich. All is made possible by the use of things. What I love about this is he's basically saying you can't screw people in this process. You can't hurt people in this process. When you do it creatively, you add rather than take away. And it says some people remain in poverty because they're ignorant of the fact that there is wealth for them, and these can be taught by showing them the way to affluence in their own person and practice. And so I'm gonna share with you in just a little bit about Bill Gates and what he has said he would have told himself when he was first starting. And the fact is that if you're in the creative mode rather than destructive or competitive mode, there's enough for everybody. Says the very best thing that you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. You can serve God and man in a more effective way than by getting rich. That is, if you get rich by creative method and not the competitive one. He's talking about creating, not disintegrating, not taking away, but creating an abundance with it. It says, after you've made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please. But until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything on this line but this book. So this chapter is not a very long one. None of them are. And I think that what's so powerful about this book to me, not only did it make a magnificent difference in my life, but I wanted to start this process with everybody. I wanted to go through this with everybody first, to put them in this right mind for what we're going to start on April 8th. I wanted people to not just be ready to succeed, but I wanted people to truly, truly have the mentality that they are in control of their future. And when I went to this seminar, Bob Proctor's, this is where I first saw it. I said on an earlier call, I spent $10,000 to go to it. I didn't tell my wife. When I say spend, let's be more clear. I charged $10,000 to my credit card. We were broke. We were not doing well. We had a brand new son. And I had lost all kinds of confidence with it. My businesses weren't working, where everything I did before seemed like it worked, and nothing was really working. And the thing is, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are right now feeling the same helplessness that I did when I first started going through this. This book to me honestly felt like I was walking into a dark room and it turned on the lights. I had so many aha moments as I went through it. And so with this, what I love about it was it's saying you do not have to knock down other people for you to be successful. You do not, in order for you to be able to create the wealth that you desire, you do not have to hurt other people with it. And he also talks about it just as you read through this, understanding how much you truly desire. And some people are imagining extraordinary billion-dollar wealth, but at what cost does that come to many different people's lives with it? There's so many great messages within this. I hope you have been taking the time, instead of just watching Netflix and all the time with it, because there's some crazy stuff on there at this point. I hope that you're taking some of the time to really improve yourself during this process, because as much as like I say, every night turn my head off, I do turn on Netflix with it. But I've set goals with me that I don't turn it on until I get this done, this done, this done, and this done. And it has been to me a magnificent time of self-reflection and improvement. And so to get done what I'm going to show you, and I'll switch that over now to this other screen. And I've actually seen that Nacho, who's on the call with us, is doing the same course that inspired me for this. And and I'm excited because I'll have someone that I can talk to about this as we start to shape this program for you guys. We're going to be inspired by one of the best social marketers, one of the best, I would just say, personal brand creators in the world for this. And to me, that is thrilling to think that we have some people that are truly dedicated to the business. And this 30 days of owning your life, there's really no better time to be able to do this, guys. There's no better time, because the people that are truly searching right now, I want to be able to give them the answers. I want to be able to give them the abilities to see the success that they can have even during a crisis. So this concept of own your life, discover 30 days to own your life, is what we're going to start on April 8th. I hope you're encouraging your people to get onto these calls, and we need a lot more people than that to be successful. We're going to have ready by the end of this week a private Facebook group for the people who register for this, that you can go in, and it's going to be a place where hopefully you have the motivation to help other people, that you have the ability to answer the different questions. You have the ability to help them as they go through their different struggles. You help them as they are trying to figure different things out with it. But it's basically going to be 30 days to own your life. Now, I've got some of you that are unmuted. Nacho, what does it mean to you to own your life? What does it mean to own your life? Should be able to.
Hello, Jeff. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Own your life for me means be free completely, but also do what I want, whenever I want, with the people I want, and for as long as I want. I think that's owning my life.
I think that's a pretty dang good definition of it. Florian, you've been on these. I'll tell you, if you want to, you can unmute yourself and you can tell me what owning your life means to you.
Owning the life is living without a limited restriction. The only restriction would be the law of society. I mean, you're the speed limit and like, I mean, you got the rules and everything. But apart from that, you're free to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And I think that with me, part of that, you know, a lot of times people think many times in selfish ways with this, the ability to own your life. This picture to me epitomizes the idea of owning my life with it, to be with people that I love and care about, people that are motivated, people that make my life better. And those of you who are on Facebook that are watching this, type in for me what it means for you to own your life. Vacationing, and this trip was a great trip because we had people from different countries. We had a wonderful 2-hour seminar together where we went through and we talked about building your legacy. It was a magnificent time. John, what does it mean to you to own your life? And on Facebook, be sure you guys type it in there. What does it mean to you to own your life? What does it mean to you, John?
One word for me is just freedom. You know,
Yeah.
freedom of time, freedom to do what you want. So, yeah, and you hear all the older people. You know, it's the key word for me is freedom. And freedom, you know, to help people, freedom to do what you like, freedom of time. The key word for me is freedom.
For sure. Charles Griffin is on. Charles, type for me what it means to you to own your life. And Angela, unmute yourself. It's always fun for me before I put on the screen what it means to me, because owning your life is different to different people. Angela, what does it mean to you to own your life?
Oh gosh, everyone has had very similar thoughts to the things that I have thought about. You know, for us, we talk about the ability to go where we want to go, when we want to go do that. You've got this picture up, of course, of us vacationing in Mexico, and we were able to do that on our own terms and our own timeline. So to me, owning life is just feeling like you are in control of the things that you can do, right? You don't have a boss saying, nope, you can't take that time off. And you don't have someone telling you, oh yeah, you have this shift and this shift. And, you know, owning life can be anything from your work schedule to going and traveling where you want to travel, when you want to travel, being around the people that you want to be around. You know, sometimes we have to be around people we don't want to be around. So if you get an opportunity to be around really awesome people like us, and then heck yeah, you know, come and join us, come be with us, and we'll own our life and party it up together.
Well, those were awesome. And before I started to influence you guys with it, those of you on Facebook, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart if what you think about this with it. So the first question is, have you ever thought about what it would be like to own your life? Have you ever thought about that? So let me give you the definition of it, okay? So first, you have to consider the time it takes to sleep, commute, work, and do all the little things every day to get by. Now, not too many people are commuting right now, but most people have no time to do what they want and are usually too broke to do it. The purpose of what we want to do over the next 30 days is this, and this is what I'd like to hear the statements on Facebook, what they think about it, but this is my definition of it. And I've been influenced by other people with it. and this is not a new idea of owning your life, but to me, this is what it is. It is that you feel happiness every day, you are healthy, you are financially secure. You love what you do for a living, and it provides you the time and money you need to do what you want when you want to do it. I want to make enough money that I don't worry about making money. That is my goal as it relates to money. Some people say they want to be a multi-millionaire. They want this, they want that. I want to make enough money to do what I want when I want to without having to worry about it. I don't have to worry about how much money I'm making each day, because that's taken care of. But owning your life is far more than just the money. It is feeling happy, it is feeling healthy, and you're financially secure. That to me is the definition of owning your life. So part of this is knowing how to exercise, knowing how to eat, knowing how to do these different things, but truly owning your life, that to me is what it means. And I'd love for you guys that are watching on Facebook, tell me what you think about that. Give me the thumbs up if that defines it for you, because to me, it is an all-encompassing thought. So if you're motivated to make a change, you can learn what it takes in the next 30 days so you can own your life. It doesn't mean that you're going to have all of what you want in the next 30 days, but if you are willing to do what we're going to take you through, you will have the ability to own your life. Now, whether you follow through or not is up to you. Are you going to be as persistent at it as some of the other people? But we are going to go through, and there's no better time than right now to get started with it. I remember I started a business in 2008, and we had the venture capitalists come in, and they took it over. And they essentially told me to come to work every day and do nothing. It was miserable. But during that time, it was about 2009, 2010, I started learning about all kinds of things like this. So even though they didn't let me be in charge of the business I started, and even though they took it over from me, it gave me all kinds of freedom to be able to learn new things and to become successful with it. That's what many of us all have right now. Many things have been taken from us, but what we've been given back is we've been given back our time and an awareness of how important that time and freedom is. I hope that you will take advantage of what we're going to be teaching starting April 8th. I hope you will start getting your people to watch these calls. I hope you're sharing this with your people. I hope that you look at it the way that I looked at when I was basically locked in my office for 8 hours a day, where I could go out and learn what I needed to do to be successful. So those type of people could never lock me up again. I hope that's what you look at during this time as. So how much do you want to earn? Well, how much are you willing to learn? So many people say, I want to earn this. Well, what have you learned to deserve that? So if you're willing to spend a minimum of 5 hours per week, minimum of 5 hours per week to learn and follow a system that we're going to teach you, you can learn what it takes to create the income at whatever level you wish to work for. Now, this is not a free lunch. This doesn't just mean at the end of 30 days, all your dreams will come true. But I'm telling you, if you looked at it the way that I looked at, when these venture capitalists basically neutered me, they put me in a room and they basically says, come to work, but don't talk to anybody. I could have sat there and pouted, or I looked at it and said, you know what? I'm gonna learn enough that I can never have a guy like this take away my freedom again. So are you willing to spend 5 hours per day to do it? And do you want to learn how to earn the money to do what you want when you want to do it? Do you really, really want that? And that's my question for you guys, is that are you willing to talk to your people, to get them on here, to share this, tag them in Facebook, tag the people in your group and say, watch this in the messages, tag them, encourage them to do it, because we're giving a little bit of time for you to start to get ready for this. And what we're going to teach you is the skills you need to create your personal brand, to create your personal brand, and for you to know what it is that must be done for you to be able to do it. The fact is, guys, there's a better way, and it's not what the 97% are doing. 97% of the population has got it completely wrong. And that's why so many people right now are completely freaked out. Everybody should start thinking of, what can I do to be able to secure my future? What can I do to make sure that I don't have the debt that everybody else has? Most Americans, these are American stats, it's easy to get American stats, the average household carries $15,000 in credit cards. So here's the myth. If you work really hard, you'll be okay. What I don't want to do over the next 30 days is teach you just how to work really hard. I want to talk to you about being smart on a limited budget. Not everybody has a huge budget. And that's why I like so many of these things that I pay for and I go through. I know a lot of people don't have the vision to pay for some of these different courses. And even worse, I know a lot of people, when I give it to them free as a part of being a member of the company, they still don't take advantage of it. But I want you to know this is not just about working hard, because effort alone will never make you rich or successful. There's only so many hours in the day, and the difference between the rich and the poor is how they use those hours and how they think. How they think. You might be asking, so what do I have to do? You're going to have to take control of your future. And understand that 72% of Americans, this is a USA Today did this, said they rather work for themselves for a job, and 67% think about quitting their jobs regularly or constantly. How many people out there right now are begging for something to do? And this program was inspired by a gentleman who has sold over $120,000 worth of these courses right now. And there's people from all over the world on that course that are saying, I'm looking, how do I do this? How do I do this? Guys, we're finishing up the biggest month we've ever had in the history of GFU, because some of our members have taken a proactive approach and they realize that people are at home right now. So my question for you is, how bad do you want to make this work? Are you promoting these calls with people? And if they're not, if they have to be at work during this time, add them in a comment, tag them, and message them and say, let's do this together. We're going to create this private group. It'll be ready by the end of the week. And we're going to let you guys start to put your team in there. But I'm telling you, if you're not participating, it's not going to do any good. If you're not listening to how to get your mind right, it won't work. It won't work. So are you motivated is my first question. And a lot of people who are on there may say they are. Well, get as many people as you can onto these calls to get ready for the next 30 days. And the second question, are you willing to learn? Some of you say, sure, I am. Well, get fired up about it, because there's people making real money during this. And they're the ones that are willing to take the bullets and be positive right now when everybody else is sulking. So think of what your dream income would be. How much is that going to be? And understand that making a residual right here, few people are millionaires or have $1 million in the bank. So I want you to start concentrating on creating a residual income. So the way that this chart works is that, do you realize that $1,000 of residual per month is similar to having $600,000 in a regular bank account? Do you realize $600,000 in a regular savings account would only give you $1,000 per month of residual? And if you were lucky enough, and by the way, my IRA and 401k have plummeted the last month. So anybody out there trying to get 10% income, it would still need $120,000 in the bank in order to make that. You are better off concentrating on saying, you know what, if I could make $5,000 per month in residual, that is the same as having $1.2 million in the bank earning 5%. And there's not a lot of people earning 5% right now. So what I want you to know is, if you want to think like a millionaire, act like a millionaire, concentrate on getting up to $10,000 per month. That is the same as having $6 million per month of residual at 2% interest. Guys, how much do you want? And are you willing to put the time into it? A lot of people will take a job and they'll get a guaranteed amount like on line A. Are you willing over the next 30 days to learn what it takes over the next 3 to 4 to 5 months to get that $10,000 a month? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to put not just the time in, but the energy to make it work? Let me finish off with one of the most incredible guys. I've watched his thing on Netflix and he inspires me. Some people can criticize him, but the guy inspires me. His desires to help people. It's impressive. And one of the things that he said, if he could talk to his his younger self is the smartest people in the world know IQ isn't enough. That's what he basically said. Smartest people in the world know that IQ isn't enough. You have to have the right systems. You have to have the right people. And that's what we're doing, is creating a mastermind of people dedicated to getting ahead. And this is what he said that he did to become successful at Microsoft. He says, I took massive and immediate action. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you're in the right place at the right time and you have the vision, but don't take action, you'll never be successful. Guys, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to get your team on here? Are you willing to get them to see what kind of person you are? And look at your team, because ask yourself this time, I told you I'd finish with this. What type of person is your group? Are they retreaters? The person that thinks that the world is falling apart? There's a lot of those right now. Are there waiters? The person who does nothing and is hoping that the government will take care of them. They're just sitting there waiting. They're hoping that the government will take care of things. Or are you a maker? The maker is the person who is not afraid of a challenge and who is willing to forge ahead in spite of personal fears. I hope you're a maker, because the makers are going to create a future that is better. They're going to get through this and they're going to thrive rather than just survive. Guys, on April 8th is when we're going to start to do it. I encourage you to get your people on here beforehand. And what we'll do is every day, I'll send you out an assignment for 30 days. The people who do that will learn the basic skills of what they need to be able to create a residual income. Now it's up to you to implement it. It's up to you to encourage your people to hop onto this. It's up to you to promote this like crazy over the next few days so that your team will have the motivation to follow you as being a maker. Future's ours, guys. It can be successful in spite of the times we're in. And I hope you got the courage to go out and to make it happen at a high level. Thanks for hopping on today. I'll be on tomorrow and give you a few more hints about what we're going to do, but it starts up here, guys. I hope you're reading The Science of Getting Rich. I hope you're taking notes, and I hope it's changing your life for the better, because it changed my life, and I cherish the book, and the things that I wrote 21 years ago in the notes, the side of it, are still applicable to me today. Thanks for being on, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Mountain for the next Power Hour. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.